Searle, and we are going to play the third place game in the Crazy Premier League Cup. City coming off of a heartbreaking loss to Liverpool in the semis. They were ahead 1-0 as stoppage time neared. Liverpool put on a flurry, and in that, the equalizer was scored, and then in stoppage time, another goal was conceded by the citizens, and the blue side of Manchester was definitely blue after that loss. But they have a chance to go up against Bournemouth, who lost Tottenham Hotspur in their semi. So Bournemouth, a relative minnow, happy to be here. And Manchester City, the favorites for this. We will see if we get a surprise here in this one, as we have quite a mismatch here in terms of spending, etc., etc. So to introduce the lineups, I'm not going to move my camera to show you, but your forward for Manchester City in a 4-5-1 formation will be Sergio Aguero. Then in the midfield, they will have David Silva and Leroy Sané on the outside. And then central, they will have Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, and then as a sort of a defensive midfielder, it'll be Yaya Toure. I decided to bring him in because this is getting towards the end of his illustrious career with Manchester City, and so I figured it was worth bringing him in for a game. So, and then in defense, it will be so the rest role meant that Vincent Kompany is rested. So we're bringing in John Stones for him. So it'll be Otamendi, Stones in the central defense with Delph on the left, Walker on the right, and then Claudio Bravo will get a start in goal here for Manchester City. For Bournemouth, this will be a 4-4-2 look. Start from the back with Charlie Daniels and Simon Francis on the outside as fullbacks with Nathan Ake, and then Tyrone Mings is going to get a start here instead of Steve Cook, because I'm kind of sick of having two Cooks in the game. And plus, Mings has been around a while, and he's usually a pretty good defender. There's not too much of a difference between Mings and Cook. In midfield, it will be Mark Pugh and Ryan Fraser attacking from the wing, and then Lewis Cook and Jordan Ebay will be the central midfielders, and then up top, Callum Wilson will yield to Jermaine Defoe. American fans will remember his stint in MLS, but he's been in a number of clubs in England. And then Josh King is going to also be up front. He's the main threat. So, and I went to find Begovic's goalie card for Bournemouth, and I didn't see it there. And the reason why is that in a not so talented moment, before I started recording, my camera took a tumble, and it must have knocked Begovic's card off the table. I did find it. It is right over here. He is safe and sound. Maybe a touch dusty because it's kind of a remote corner of the what do you want to call it? The humble abode, or whatever you might want to say. So let's get playing here. Enough ado about this. So we need to figure out who is going to get the kick first. And so Manchester City will choose to lead off the second half. So that means Bournemouth will kick it off to start, which will be in D, or it will end up in D off the kickoff, and it will be with Jermaine Defoe. So that leads to a 12, and so that's 40 in D. So that will lead to a header opportunity in B for Bournemouth. Bournemouth, if they win this on the 50-50 ball, they keep it. In B, if Manchester City, the defending team, wins it, then they get to take over next. Now, This is all dependent on team rating. The team ratings are very disparate here. Manchester City's the highest rated team, 5. Bournemouth is rated a 2, so that is a difference of 3. That means that it's a 5 out of 6 chance that Manchester City will win the loose ball chart on every roll. So that's pretty. So if you're talking, when I'm saying the two numbers, these are two D6 rolls, and the D6s are they're static. The colors matter. So it's like some games you roll two D6s like History Maker Golf, and it's it's ascending order. This it doesn't. If it's a 61, it's a 61. 11 through 56, Manchester City will win because they're the higher team. It's only the 61 through 66. So 6 chances out of 6 are favorable to Bournemouth. So we look here, and it is 62. So that means they do get to retain it on one of those odd opportunities, and that will be with Lewis Cook. On his card over here, it says Steve Cook, but as I've mentioned in previous broadcasts, they mislabeled the cards for whatever reason, and that's why I'm trying to limit it to just one Cook in the game. So it'll be a Cook, and that is a 55 in B, but he does not have a single digit on that double roll, so that is instead a 38. That is in B, so it'll be a defensive check for Manchester City. Now, they are a team defense rated 4. We had that in the other game, but it's a 53. If you look on that chart, it says it's going to be a header in F, so Bournemouth could still get it, and they do. But they'll get the ball much deeper in their zone, and it'll be F6. So that's going to be Charlie Daniels. 15, that's another good roll, but that's not going to help them at all. 31, it'll be defensive check. See, 15 is number 7. You can see on Joshua King's up here, if you can see it from there. I don't know, he's a 7 with that. Basically, the higher your offensive potential, the more of the single digit and even double digit, low double digits, 10 through 20, you'll get on your card. If you're not as offensive, then those rolls lead to other alternatives, and in this case for Charlie Daniels, it's going to be blocked, but it's going to lead to a header in F again, so actually the same roll, but this time it will be lost on a 52. So in a lot of cases, a lot of games, that will be won by the lower team, but in this case Manchester City gets it, and it'll go to X7. So let's try and pick up the pace here a little bit. Kyle Walker. Well, there's a 22, but again, this is another case. So, but that is an X, so it will be X9. That's Stones, seeing his first action in a while. 56 leads to 40 in X, so that'll be a header to F. They should win this, and they do. Be F4. Manchester City should have a lot of possession in this game. Sane, 21, 37 in F is going to be a defensive check. 35. So, and then Bournemouth is a team defensive 2. So the 35 is going to lead to a header to D. Again, it's going to be lost. So Bournemouth will take it in X. A fortunate happening for them. Mark Pugh will have it, and that's a 22. So there is a 4 in X. So that is going to be in other zones. In zones closer to goal, that's a shot, but because it's in X, that 4 is going to be a pass to D. Also, let me just mention that I'm doing 4-4-2 for both teams right now. So basically a neutral-ish tactic for them. So that's a good pass from Pugh to Joshua King in zone D. 61, though, is going to be 23. So that'll be a pass to Daniels in D. So that's a good pass. 26 now is going to be a foul suffered. by Charlie Daniels. And committed by player 6. And that will be Yaya Toure. No card. So Bournemouth will get a free kick in D. Joshua King will be the special kick taker, or corner kicks and free kicks. And it'll be De Bruyne for City. So the free kick in D is going to be a pass to A. A2, and I said City should get quite a bit of possession, but they've had some bad luck with the rolls so far on the loose ball. So it's going to be A2, so it'll be eBay and A. Can he get a shot off here? 25. 8 and A will be a shot. So eBay. He is a 26, but you add 5, and then you can also get 1 from King's card. So add 5 for zone A. You can see that down in the left-hand corner. Plus 1. So you take it from 26 up to 36, and we roll the card, and it's a 41, so it's off target. It's above the shot number. If it's equal to or less, then it is a shot on target. So then we look at the missed shot right here, and it says goalkeeper outlet off this fast action card. So the goalkeeper outlet is basically something to the effect of a punt or like a throw, like they heave it sometimes. So this will be an outlet for Manchester City off the what would amount probably to a blocked shot. And so the goalkeeper outlet, it's this right here, and it'll be F10. So 7th minute currently, no score. Yaya Toure in F. 46 is going to be 27. That'll be a defensive check. 63 is going to be blocked to F and retained. Manchester City keeps it, and it'll again be with Toure. 51 is 25 and F. That'll be a pass to X9. So John Stones now. So lose a little bit of territory, but get the cycle possession. 62 for Stones. That's 36 in X. That'll be a ball in the air, a header to B. Now this could be a great opportunity if this is one of those low rolls, and it is. So they will retain it, and so it'll go to B, and let's see who gets it here. 2. So it'll be Sergio Aguero, a deft sniper from close range, and he may have a chance here. Let's see. 63. No, he's going to commit a foul, and that will end the attack. So suffered by the 3rd-ranked guy. That will be eBay. And so Bournemouth will get a free kick. So a little bit of possession there for City, but the free kick from X is going to be a pass to D. 3. 10th minute, no score. Frazier and D, 44. That's going to lead to a shot. So you'd look at the balance of these teams, and you would have to say that City would be the one that would be the more powerful. But so far, now Bournemouth, this will be their 2nd shot, and he's got a 33 rating now. No adjustment for the zone because D is a net 0. So it's going to be 33, and it's 66. So that is off target again. But this is going to lead to a corner kick. So King gathers the ball, takes it to the corner. He whips it in. He's rated B, so that's going to be a pass to A. And then 61 on the corner kick is to A5. That'll be Lewis Cook. And 35 is 41. And A is going to be a defensive check. So it gets blocked, whatever he tried to do, pass. Most likely. Header to E. And retain a 55. That's high in the range, but it's going to be retained, or it's going to be lost. I mean, it's not retained, it's lost. You can tell right here. So down here in this part of the card, there's a chart here that says 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the loose ball. This is the difference. or difference 3, and it has an H. So that means the higher rated team wins. So it's a lost possession. So it is X for Manchester City. 3. David Silva in X. And he tries a pass, but it goes offside. So they cede possession. 12th minute, no score. Indirect kick to B. So Bournemouth is going to get another close-in opportunity here. It's going to be APBA. 13, not a good roll, though. It's going to be 42, so it'll be a header to A. They will have a slim chance, but no, it's going to be low, so that will be lost. And Manchester City will collect X10. That'll be, again, Toure. 50, so it's 46. It's going to be an out-of-bounds pass, so they got to try and keep it away from Toure because his passing here is not good. Getting a little long in the tooth here, Mr. Toure. This was the 28th. He's 35, I believe, is the what his age would be for this set. So in the 13th minute, it'll be a throw-in for Bournemouth. It'll be F9. So it'll be Simon Francis, the right back. 54, a special result. And we've got to look it up in the book because I don't have a chart for this. There's just too many selections. So we go to 24 for Francis in special results. If even strength is going to be stolen by the opposition, we'll just consider it to be a defensive check stolen to X1. Manchester City it'll be De Bruyne in X. Now, I haven't mentioned clutch points yet. You can see here, City has 10, Bournemouth 4. These numbers are based on both teams being away teams. This is a neutral site at Wembley. So City here is going to have 36. So that's a 37 in X. That'll be a header to D. And retained by Manchester City. So it'll be D1, De Bruyne again. 43 is going to be a foul committed. Suffered by player 4. It's going to be Defoe. And De Bruyne, not a card. But another free kick in X. C6. So Charlie Daniels and C. 43. Not. So he does not have a high enough foul committed rating for that 43 to lead to a foul. Instead, it'll be 34 in C. It's going to be a defensive check. And with that high rating, it's going to be steal straight to F. And it'll be Sane with that for Manchester City. 16th minute. 29 in F. This is going to be a defensive check for Bournemouth. 32, steal to X. And 8. So Mark Pugh, last time he had the ball, he made a nice pass. But 63 will be a foul committed by Pugh. Rough challenge there. Suffered by Sane. And no foul committed. So we're headed to the second half of the 17th minute with a free kick in X for Manchester City. So the free kick is going to be to Zone B for Manchester City. And it'll be 7. It'll be Kyle Walker. So they haven't really, they have had some opportunities in close, but they've seemed to just not be able to get a good touch on the ball. Has led to a couple fouls for the Citizens. 26, they're actually going to get fouled here. Walker gets tattered into there, clattered into. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Foul committed. That'll be by Mings. Defender, and this is in Zone B, so they will have an excellent opportunity here. Let's see if there'll be a card on Mings. Oh, no. Okay, well, Mings gets the 11, which is an automatic red. So they have clutch points, and um, there are ways to use the clutch points to help out in this kind of situation. And um, this is the chart, and what the only real option they have, because they only have 4. The 3 does them nothing because that's only deals with the yellow. The 4 is a red card is waved off after officials discuss, a yellow card is given. So that's what they're going to have to do, is it's what I call the downgrade. But that's going to eliminate all of their clutch points. And at this point, they have to do that. Now, it's really going to put them in a bind, because if City gets ahead, they're really going to have no opportunity to generate offense in a in a in a this kind of clutch mechanism sort of way, which is, it's a real, we saw it with Liverpool. They were able to generate the scoring chances that led to the tying goal. So that's going to be a yellow on Mings, and that'll be -4 clutch points for Bournemouth. So they will be pretty rough shape there. And they're going to add a minute of stoppage time because of that. But that'll be a free kick and B. De Bruyne will be the one to step up to it here. He has a 33 shot on goal, but it won't be a shot. It's going to end up in B. So whether it gets blocked by the wall and ends up on somebody's foot in B, it will be player 5, Bernardo Silva. And that's a 43, which is 22 in B. So that's going to be a pass to a more offensive player, Aguero, 20th minute in B. Aguero in B, 36 is 40, and that's going to be defensive check, so they can't get a shot off in that stretch. And that's going to be a steal straight to D for Bournemouth. So they are able to get it together and start the break the other way. Ends up with Frazier in zone D. But that's going to be blocked, and it'll lead to a header in B, which is, again, like a 5 out of 6 for Manchester City. So Bournemouth loses, City collects an X, and it'll be 10. So Yaya Toure again an X. 15 is 27. Defensive check. 33, header to D, and lost. So another one for the lower team. I put X10. I don't know if it's 10. Actually, it's X3. That was my mistake. I was getting ahead of myself. X3. So Frazier and X. 21st minute, and we're about ready to do some card shuffling. So it's 33. So you get a double, and that leads to the roll of 3. So that's going to be a pass. That's just, he's going to make a pass to a teammate, and they're going to find him on the wall pass into zone B. So Frazier with it back again, this time in zone B. If he can get another double, and it's not, that'll be a header to B. And this will find out whether or not it is going to be retained. Likely not. And it isn't. So it'll be taken in zone X. Now I have to shuffle the cards. And so the player to take it in X will be Kyle Walker for Manchester City. 22nd minute, about the halfway mark of this first period. And the 14 is 37 in X, which is going to be a header to D, which is retained by Manchester City. So this is going to be, they're going to move forward a bit here into the zone, and it'll be Silva. D, 25. That'll be 8 in D, and 8 is going to be a pass to zone A and 2. So it'll be Aguero and A. Can it find one of his shot numbers? 36. No, it will not. It'll be 40 in A, and it's going to be a defensive check. So that's unfortunate for City. Blocked E, retained. So I do keep it in E. That'll be player 3. That'll be David Silva again. 23 is 39. In E, that'll be a header to D. And this time it's lost to the Cherries. So X7, that'll be Ake. This may be his first touch. 35 in X is going to be a defensive check. Got a lot of defense going on here, and it'll be 16, which is going to lead to a corner kick. That's the one roll for the 4 column is 16, where it leads to a corner kick. So Joshua King will take his second. Pass to B. And it will be player 1, which is going to be him. He's going to run in from the corner and get a pass. Zone B, 65, and he's fouled in Zone B. So suffered by King. Committed by Fabian Delph. And Manchester City is going to have to use some clutch points because they get the red card roll. And because this is the end of the tournament, they're going to stick with the 4 as well. We're going to add another minute of stoppage time because of that. 4 clutch points. So it's going to be a yellow for Delph. And Bournemouth will take a free kick in B. So here's another chance. This will be King taking it. Free kick in B. That's going to be another pass to B. So we have not had a shot off one of those yet. B4. So Jermaine Defoe, he could take a shot here possibly. 21 will not lead to that, though. That'll be 42 in B. Header to A. Can they get the 1 in 6 chance? No, they do not. X7. Walker and X. 44. That'd be a good roll if it were somebody more attacking, but it's not. But it will be a header to B. And again, they get this 5 in 6 chance, and they get it. So retained B2. And there's a double. That would have been helpful right on the next roll. But B2, so it'll be Aguero in B. 61 is 16 in B. That's a good roll, B1. It's another one of those low rolls that only guys who have lots of attacking prowess get. So B1, that'll be De Bruyne in B. 26. So 21 becomes 26 in B. That'll be C3 to David Silva in C. And 66, he will get a shot off in C. So David Silva. 32 rating. He does add 1 for that. Makes it 33, but then the pass was from De Bruyne, who is above a 10. So that means they get a 5-point assist jump because of De Bruyne making the pass. You know, what you would say is that it was a really good pass that he gets maybe a chance to 1 time. So yeah, so we go from 33 up to 43 because of that. All right, let's see. 34, 35, 36, 45, 36, 41, 42, 43. Yep. Just like to double check, make sure. So that is on goal. There's no clutch points for Bournemouth to use, so they got to hope Begovic gets this. The dusty Begovic card fell down to my floor. So you see the numbers there. The numbers that lead to 10 are the goals. Everything else will be some kind of either a save or a special result. We turn it over. It's 52. 52 is a 10. It is a goal for David Silva. 29th minute. And because we used De Bruyne's assist, we're going to give him the assist. We used his rating to add points. Although Silva would have put the shot on goal regardless. I'm going to mark it on my sheet here. Bear with me for a second. That is the 29th minute. It'll be David Silva. One of the Spanish, well, one of the heroes. There aren't too many Spaniards on this Manchester City team, but in this case, he is responsible for the goal to put them in front. 1-0, and now it'll be an uphill climb for Bournemouth with no clutch points and a Manchester City team that has a lot of things going their way as far as the ratings and whatnot. But both teams are going to stay 4-4-2 at this point, and it'll be a kickoff for Bournemouth in the 30th minute now. Kickoff F10. Mings. If it weren't for some persuading from the clutch points, he would be off. But also Delph would be as well. 64 in F. 30 in F. Defensive check. And 56 is going to be a header to X and lost. So Manchester City gets X 9. Stones in X 33. That's a great pass from Stones to Silva, the goal scorer, in Zone B. And he's going to get another shot off here. He's feeling confident now. He's going to try give it another crack. So from B, add 3. Now Stones has no assist rating, so it's going to have to be right off of his rating plus the B, which is going to make it 35. And it's going to be off target this time. But it does lead to a corner kick. So in the 32nd minute, Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne will swing one in from the corner. He is a corner kick taker A. It's going to go to pass to B. Pass to B with a shot on goal. So we look at 51 on the corner kick chart. That'll be B4. And it's going to be a shot on goal. So we have to automatically go to Begovic's card. So it's going to be Leroy Sané. With a shot on goal, we go straight to the goalkeeper card. Same deal. We turn it over at 64, and that is going to be a save and a corner kick. So a good save there by Begovic. But that will lead to another corner kick. He had to have great reflexes on that, and I put the goalkeeper card on the pile and the fast action card over in the goalkeeper spot. So that's what kind of morning I'm having right now. No, this is great. I'm on vacation. I get to enjoy a game of APBA soccer. Corner kick again. Pass to A. And 42 is 3. So that'll be David Silva again in A. In close. Could it be a shot? Another shot? Could it be a foul? Could it be another pass? Could it be a defensive check? It'll be 54. That's a special result. Go to a different chart, and that's 16. Ball kicked out of bounds. Throw in. It goes to area A for... It's out of bounds. That ends the attack. Now, Bournemouth is going to throw it in to Zone A. 3. So a good throw in there. So it would be Frazier in A, 45, 9 in A. That'll be D1. So that'll be Josh King in D. 45 is 29 in D is F6. So they're kind of retreating from goal here, trying to get it back together. And Daniels is 24 in F, which will be X8. Making some good passes here. Mark Pugh. 42 is 42 in X, which is going to be out of bounds. So 36th minute, 1-0. And I forgot to change my scoreboard here. There we go. Sorry about that. That happened in the 29th minute. So that was about 7 minutes ago. If you're just joining us. But Manchester City will have a throw in here in the 36th minute. F1. So De Bruyne in F is 21. That'll be 26 in F. That will be a defensive check. So many chances they could have had, but instead it was the one that doesn't work out. Header to F, retained. F10. This is where you're really starting to see Manchester City's team rating, that disparity really coming into play now. Toure in F, 14 is 27. That'll be another defensive check. This will be a steal to D, though, for Bournemouth. That'll be D9, so that's probably going to... You're going to need a good pass here from Francis or else, probably. 35 in D. 27... That's not a bad pass. That's E6. Daniels in E. 51 is 30 in E. That will be a defensive check, so that'll get blocked. Into zone F. Or no. What was that? 63. That's blocked into zone E and lost. X. And I have this dust from that Begovic card lingering on my fingers. It'll be player 6. Otamendi. 39th minute. 52 in X is 39. Should be a header to F. And they should retain it and do. F10. That'll be Toure again. 55. He does not have a high enough rating for that to be a single. But that is going to be 27 in F. That'll be defensive check. Block to X. Retained. X8. Delph. 41 is 46, which will be out of bounds. 40th minute. So I'm taking a short break here to take a drink. Just want to say, this will hopefully be releasing Friday afternoon. Stay tuned here on my half of Tabletop Baseball Plus for a live stream of the championship game of this, which will probably happen on Sunday afternoon. It'll be Tottenham against Liverpool. It'll be a real cracker of a game. And yeah, I may try and get. I've started something in Out of the Park Baseball. I'll probably try and play game 2 in my series. That is, I'm taking the 2003 Phillies, and I'm going to manage them. Just as the manager, I'm going to use the as-played lineups. They lost the first game to Florida, who are the eventual champions that year. But the thing I like about 2003 Phillies is Jim Thome. That was the first year he joined them, which was I think a rather significant step in their process of developing from kind of perennial underachievers to that year they finished, I believe it was 86 and 76 maybe. I think that math is right. But they lost out because I think it was the Braves, and then the Marlins finished ahead of them. But in any regard, I think bringing a guy in like Thome with a lot of character was a great influence on guys like Rollins, and eventually Utley would come up, and maybe to an extent Burrell. Although I don't know, Burrell was a character of his own right that I don't know. With him, it was just trying to control him. Damage control, but lots of stories got about it. But I think having guys like Thome were a real influence on that team going forward as they built towards the 2008 season. So I think I'm going to try that. Expectations, I'm just going to try and keep them pretty low, and we'll have fun with it. So, all right. So the throw in for Bournemouth here, after I've taken my drink and just a little bit of a break, it's going to be throw in to E5. So that'll be Cook in E. That's Lewis Cook, by the way. And 34 in is going to be 44 in E, and that'll be out of bounds as well. So 41st minute throw in here for City. And that will be to zone X3. So Silva and X, he's liable to make a good pass here, but it doesn't look like it. No, that's a 35. That'll be a defensive check off Bournemouth. And so that's header to X, retained. Manchester City will be happy retaining possession if they can do that, because they have the lead 1-0. So Toure, 24 and X is 32. That's going to be another defensive check. And this time it's going to be a steal to X for Bournemouth. It'll be 6. So that'll be Daniels and X. So I'm just curious here. No, that's okay. Looking at my cheat chart here. So Daniels in X, 53. 30 in X. That's another defensive check. Okay, this will be a steal to E for the blue team. E1. So Manchester City, that'll be De Bruyne in E. 24 is 40 in E. That'll be a header to E. And the 5 out of 6 works their way again. So it'll be E5. We're in the 44th minute. I might have to do a shuffle before halftime. So it'll be Bernardo Silva in E, and that is going to lead to a shot at 22. 22 is a 4. And in the E section, the 4 is the last one that leads to a shot. So this is going to be a little bit of a gamble of a shot here. But he is 36 shot rating now, but we subtract 3 for zone E, as you can see down in that corner. So that takes him down to 33, and there's no assist. So 33, and that's going to be off target, which seems justified given how far away from goal it is. But it will lead to a corner kick. So glances off a defender and heads over the end line. So Manchester City with De Bruyne will swing in a corner, and it'll end up in A. And 42 is going to be player 3. So that's David Silva in A. 56 is 42 in A. That'll be a header to A, which will be retained. Who's going to get it? A6. That'll be Otamendi in A. Can he get a header on this? 24. No, he won't. 41 in A is going to be a defensive check. 45th minute, we're going to have 2 minutes of stoppage time. That'll be a header to F, retained. F1, so De Bruyne and F. 46 is going to be a foul suffered by De Bruyne. Committed by player 6, which is Mark Pugh. And I have to shuffle. Okay, so the shuffling is complete now. This is going to be a type of situation here. It's a free kick in F. Really, their only hope is going to be to swing it in here, and you're not going to take a shot from this far out. So it's a matter of maybe getting a chance in close off of this. So F goes to B. And be player 4, so that will be Sane. Now it's just a matter of whether he can get a shot off here because we're in the 2nd minute of stoppage time. But 55, you know what? It will lead to a shot. And so B, this should get him a decent opportunity here. And the free kick comes from De Bruyne. So we're going to add an assist jump as well. So it goes from 31, you add 3 to make it 34. And then you add the 5 for De Bruyne to make it 43. So 43, but at 61, it'll be off target. And it leads to a goalkeeper outlet, which is more or less, we'll give Bournemouth 1 shot here. So the outlet will go to E3. Now, if Fraser can get a shot off here, we'll go with it. But it's going to be 53, which is 28 in E, which is F8. But we're going to say that is it because stoppage time is complete. So that is the end of the first half. And in this one, Manchester City comes to the break with a 1-0 lead over the Cherries. So I'm going to calculate my stats, and then I'll return with the second half, which will happen very, very shortly. All right, so we're about ready to start half 2 of the third place game of the Crazy Prem Cup. And just to give you an idea of the statistics from this, Manchester City on top there. The score 1-0. 5 shots for City, 2 of them on goal, with 2 shots for Bournemouth, and none of them on goal. You could see that Manchester City had a 52-43 possession advantage. Fouls committed by each team: 4 for Manchester City, 3 for Bournemouth. A card each. Delph and Mings for either side. So we are about ready to start, and I'm going to jump. I think I am going to jump Bournemouth up to 4-3-3. This could be fatal for them. It could also be a great help to them. So we will see, because at this point, I mean, what is there to lose? I mean, it's third place. It's not like it's for the whole thing, and I really don't. I don't know if they want to be taking it to penalties at this point. I think they need to, well, at the very least, to get to penalties, they've got to tie it up. So they got to take a chance. They could very easily concede to Manchester City with sort of a little bit of a lack of defensive minding. But they're not going to make a change right at the moment as far as personnel. But they do have Callum Wilson on the bench. They also have Junior Stanislaus, Gosling. Those are all attacking options. Gosling not so much, but you could bring him on for a defender if you wanted to try and you could bring him on for Mings if you wanted to kind of get the card off here at some point, the yellow card guy, and try and provide a little more offense. So Manchester City will kick off. They get the second half kick, and it will be F3 where that ends up. So David Silva, we've seen a lot of him, 61, is 46 and F. That'll be out of bounds. Bournemouth already with a throw in, D7. So Ake, zone D, 26. He'll be fouled by, that'll be by Sane. And no card issued this time. That'll be a free kick in D. Sometimes you do get a shot straight from the free kick from this zone, but it will go to B. And it'll be B1. So King will get the return from his the free kick. Has it in B. That will be a shot in B already. So King gets a shot. Does not get an assist jump, but that will be from B. So he goes from 33 up to 36. And that is off target. And that will lead to a corner kick. So already with a little bit of possession here, the corner kick. He's rated B, so that it will be a pass to B with a shot. It is 41, which is going to be to player 3. So that will be Ryan Fraser is going to get a shot off here. He has a shot on goal rating of 33. So that also goes up to 36. And you get one more for King. So that goes from 36 to 41. But it's 53. That's also off target. And that leads to a goalkeeper outlet. So 2 missed shots shows a little bit of life here for the Cherries. But Citizens will respond here with it can end up in E7. So that's Kyle Walker in E25 is going to be 41 in E. That'll be a header to E. Still a wide gulf in terms of possession from the defensive check. So it's going to be E8. They keep it. So it'll be Delph in E, 32, 40 in E. Be a header to D. Retained again. And it'll be Delph again in D. They can't give it to a more offensive player, which could be helpful. 31 is 28 in D. That'll be E4. Good pass. This time to Sane. And he'll get fouled. Committed by player 9, which is going to be someone who doesn't make a lot of fouls. It'll be Fraser, commit a lot of fouls. And the 22, no card, but they will get a free kick in E. The Citizens, and be B4. Sane and B. 43 is going to be a header to A. If they can win this, that could really... Oh, but they lose it. They get the 6 goal, so it's going to end up with Bournemouth and X. X2, this will be eBay. And X. 51 is 33 in X. That'll be a defensive check. And that's going to be a steal straight to B. 13 is a low number on the defensive check, so it'll be B2. So it'll be Sergio Aguero and B on the break, and he gets a shot off from B. 35, you add 3, that's going to be 42. And that's going to be 15. That is on target. Now, Begovic needs to make this save. I don't think they're going to be able to come back from 2-0 down if he can't save this. It is 62. It is a 10. It is a goal. Sergio Aguero gets the second, and that becomes the most dangerous lead in soccer. But I don't know. This is going to be really tough for Bournemouth. Aguero gets the goal, and player 10 for the assist. Wow, that'll be Stones with the excellent breakout pass. Puts Aguero in the clear, and he slots it past Begovic. Makes it 2-0. This time I will remember to change the scoreboard. And that is a great start for the second half for Manchester City as they take a 2-0 lead over lightweight Bournemouth. Bournemouth has been kind of the Cinderella team here in this tournament, but I think midnight has come here, and unfortunately, they're going to have about 35 minutes in order to get this squared up. Not impossible. They're going to be playing very aggressive, but as you saw, he got 66. But what happens is, so if you can see the cards, these cards, when you have good offensive players like Sergio Aguero, he's rated 18. He's got up to 16. And if he gets it in zone A, even if he rolls a roll that not a lot of players get the roll, the number 15. If he gets that in A, that's a shot on, it's a shot. It's not a shot on goal, it's a shot. But let's say it's in zone D and he gets a 9. That's a shot. So now, again, you have Bournemouth. They're also in the same kind of thing where they're attacking. They get a lot of these too, but the trouble is that they don't have quite as many players with that depth of ability to take those shots. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but I think at this point you kind of have to take it because you're just trying to play the numbers, and you just hope that the numbers on one occasion work out in your direction, but in this case, not so much. 2-0 in the 55th minute on the Aguero tally. And that will be a kickoff for Bournemouth, and we're going to get through this. So it'll be E2. Going to have some changes here pretty soon. They're going to have to make a change, but it's eBay and E. 65 is going to be fouled. Now, the one thing that could change is now Manchester City still has enough clutch points if they were to find another red that they could counteract it, but that will be player 3 who committed the foul. That'll be Sane. And it's a 43 no card. I'm going to go ahead and make the change. I'm going to make one change at this point. Bournemouth needs to start getting some extra chances. So I'm going to make a change, and then I'll tell you what it's about. So the change, and we have to be, we have Callum Wilson, but we have to be careful with this change because you have a defensive number. You have a team defense number, which is based on you need to keep the number of the defensive number between the numbers of 21 and 20. Well, you don't want to go below 21 if you can help it. And how that works out is that you've got 10 outfield players, so that's everybody but the goalie. You have, and the way you count it is 3 defensive points for the defender, for each defender, 2 for each midfielder, and 1 for each forward. So we're going to take out Mings, who is a defender. So we're going to replace him. If we replace him with Wilson, that goes from a 3 defender to a 1 forward, and right now they are at 22 points. If they were to do that, they would subtract 2. They'd go to 20, and that would take their team defense from 2 to 1. Now, you might say, does that really make a difference? It's kind of tough to tell, but if they go with Junior Stanislaus, who is listed as a midfielder, but still has quite a few offensive checks there, he goes up to even it looks like a 10 maybe is his best number there, but that will provide them with more chances at taking shots. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take Mings, remove him, slide everybody down, slide Lewis Cook, it says Steve, but it's Lewis, up here, Defoe down. So this is 1, 2, 3, and he's going to go in the 4 slot because he's number 7. He goes after Frazier, who is a 9, but before Defoe, who is I believe it's a 6. My eyes are, it's a 5 actually, but that's how those work with the substitutions. But what that does is it keeps them from losing some of their opportunities to do straight steals and not have to hit as much of the. So if they go to 1, there's a couple of. It adds even more chances where you have to have the loose ball check, which desperately disfavors them. So now Bournemouth will get a free kick in E with Stanislaus on there for Ming. So they more or less gone to a 3-5-2, if you will, because you still have Defoe and King out there. But you got now 5 midfielders as opposed to 4. So the free kick from E goes to C. 1. And when I say 3-5-2, we look at these tactics cards and there's like 4-4-2, 4-3. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You have to think of 4-4-2, just replace 4-4-2 with neutral, 4-3-3 with attacking, and 4-5-1 with defense. And just think of those terms. Because you can use any formation you really want here. You could go with all defenders if you really had the number of defenders you needed and you wanted to do that and still play with attack. You probably wouldn't generate many shots, and your game may look really ugly because there aren't a whole lot of defenders with good shot totals and stuff and numbers and good passes and such. But all right, so C1, we got this here. So it'll be King in C, Bournemouth. And he gets fouled in C, so he will suffer one. It'll be player 5 who commits it for City, and that will be De Bruyne. But no card. So now a free kick in C. Now this, as you get closer to goal, more chances maybe to take a shot on goal. Let's see. No, it's going to be a pass to straight. It's going to be to C. It's going to basically almost get blocked off and heads to C, and it'll be 3. So it'll be Frazier in C. That's a 45 in C. Is going to be out of bounds. Throw in for Manchester City. They got to be thinking about a defensive change here at some point soon. Throw in D. 5. So that'll be Bernardo Silva. Keep those guys straight. At least with David and Bernardo, and knowing the two guys, Bernardo is the more defensive player, so at least they got those two guys right. But okay, so we've got D5. We flip it. Right, let me see. Check it. Yep. That will be a pass. It looks like it. I'm used to that. Foul committed. For anybody that's a 2 foul committed rating, 43 is they commit a foul. But he's only a 1, so that's actually 22, which is going to lead to a good pass to Sergio Aguero in D. So that's D2. And I wrote down the wrong letter right there. I gotta make sure I'm doing this right. This is Manchester City. Okay, Aguero in D 42 is 12 in D, and it's not going to be enough, but it will be a B1. And also the other thing about that is, if you're doing 442 and 442, which I have to find out how far down that went. Maybe it went far in here, so I might not be able to show you. So that, well, anyway, the passes get better too as your opponent gets to a more attacking, then your passes become better. So, but it will be a pass to De Bruyne in B. 52 is 44 in B. That'll be a header to B. They're very likely to keep it, and they do. 60th minute, 2-0. That'll be B3 this time, so that'll be David Silva, the guy who scored the first goal, and he will be fouled. So, a little desperation here from the Cherries, and they're getting a little physical, trying to get that ball back. So it's going to be committed by Joshua King, back marking. And that's a 16, which is not going to be a foul, not going to be a card. But that will be a free kick. We're going to go ahead and make a change for Manchester City right now. All right, so it'll be Fernandinho coming in. And actually, I pulled off the wrong player. So it's going to be David Silva making way, so the goal scorer, but they are looking to shore things up, and so it'll be Fernandinho going into the 4 slot. Sane moves up to 3, and Silva, Bernardo Silva, the one remaining, will be at 5. They're not going to change tactics yet. They're not going to go defensive too quickly. They're going to hang on here, but I was debating whether or not to make another switch for Bournemouth, but I want to keep Defoe on there. I'd like to get Wilson out there, but again, it's going to make a change defensively, and I think I'm going to give them another 5-10 minutes and see if they can get a goal. If they can get a goal, then maybe then I feel even more confident with either sticking with it a little longer or I'm not sure, but it just doesn't feel quite right at this point to make a change from Cook to Wilson, or I mean Cook for Gosling is basically just a 1-for-1. What we need to do is first do Cook for the forward, and then maybe Gosling in for another defender, and just try and make a go for it here. So the free kick from B, De Bruyne has it, and it'll be a pass to A2. So it'll be Aguero and A. This is a dangerous spot for Bournemouth to be in. 16 though is 40. It's going to be a defensive check, so they get away with it. It will be a header to D, but retained. So it'll be D5. Silva is 62. That's 42 in D. It'll be a header to C. Retained. C3. Sane in C, 53. That will be 26 in C. D1, so De Bruyne in D gets it. 33 will be a shot taken. He's going to try a crack at it from about 35 yards. 33, no adjustment. Although, wait, let's see. Sane's 15, so actually you get an adjustment from him passing it to De Bruyne. So that's +5. So you get D, no adjustment, then you get 5, so that goes up to 42. It is 13. That is on goal. This could be the straw that breaks the camel's back here. Begovic breaks the cherries back. Maybe that's a better way to put it. And that's a 25, which is going to be a save. And leads to 3, which is a rebound in zone D. So a save for Begovic. He has not had his finest game. He's given up 2 goals. And Manchester City looking for a third. Will they retain this? They do. But it's a little deeper this time. D A lot of power behind the shot, and the punch really took it back, way back out there. So Delph in D11, 2, that's another shot, this time from Delph. His number is not so handy. Shot on goal, it's 25. No assist help either, so we got to go straight 25. It's 46, it's off target, and it's over. Over the net, that'll be a free kick. I think now we're going to have to make some kind of a change for Bournemouth. They're just not able to generate anything. Yeah, you know what? Let's give them one more chance. This is a goal kick. They really haven't had any possession since then. Goal kick. X 10. Francis and X 64. 34 and X is going to be a defensive check. Will be a steal to F. Manchester City gets it F5. Bernardo Silva 42. Well, 62 becomes 42 in F, which is a header to F. Retained 10. So Yaya Toure in F27 is going to be a defensive. Oh wait, no, it's X9. They're gonna try because it has an asterisk here. We can try a little bit more of an incisive pass. So Toure is going to try and get this to Aguero. Well, it's an X. Going to try and get it to Sane in X. So it needs to be 1 to 5 on the first number, and it's a 6, so they lose possession. So that goes X7 for Bournemouth. Charlie Daniels in X. Well, that'll be a great pass. B1. So King's going to have it in B. Could this be a chance for them to equalize here? 63, though, that will be a foul committed by Joshua King. And that's going to end any opportunity at a rush for that on that particular play. Player 5 suffered, which will be 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be Bernardo Silva. No card. So now Bournemouth is going to make a sub. So it will be Callum Wilson in for Lewis Cook, and this is going to be the change that takes them from a team defense of 2 down to 1. And we're going to hold off on the third sub for a little bit just because it's not as helpful of a sub. It's going to be Gosling probably for either Francis or probably either Francis or Daniels. It's going to get tough for them because you're starting to take off all of your defense. You're going to have to start using like a guy like Frazier is going to probably come back and play a right back in a 3-man line or something and just be on attack here and there. So, but anyway, we've made that sub. 68th minute, 2-0, and it's basically desperation time. So a free kick for Manchester City and X. C1. So already De Bruyne gets a chance in C possibly. 23 is 26 in C. That'll be D1. Now I'm going to shuffle. Hopefully this is the last time we have to shuffle in terms of this half. I don't know whether or not there'll be a comeback or not, but I'm going to shuffle them and we'll see what happens here. But I'm hoping I don't have to shuffle it again, but you never know. So what could very well amount to the last 20 minutes of Bournemouth's tournament. And Manchester City's tournament for that matter. It's going to be De Bruyne in D now. 52 is 44 in D. That'll be a header to E. Lost. So Bournemouth will get it in zone X. That'll be 3. So Callum Wilson just in the game. We'll have it in zone X, and that'll be 36. Defensive check. We're not too far away from City making the tactic change to defense, but that burned them in the semifinals, so I think they're a little hesitant now. Bournemouth isn't nearly as dangerous as Liverpool, but so Bournemouth would, well, Manchester City with the block, and then we go to 62, which is going to be a block to D, and then it's lost, so City gets it X10, so Defoe, or not Defoe, Toure, my bad, 15, 27 in X. Defense, 25 will be a steal to X, 8. So with a 2 defensive rating, that would have actually been a steal to F, but now it's a steal to X because they moved down 1. So Ake in X, it's 23. That'll be a 41 header to F. Let's see if they can do it through the air. It's going to be tough sailing, and they lose it. So X 5, Manchester City. Bernardo Silva in X at 61. So 28 in X is the defensive check. We're going to have a lot of defensive checks as we come down the stretch here, most likely. Okay, that's a steal to E for Bournemouth. So 7, Daniels in E. That will be a shot from distance. He does not have a great shot rating, but you never know on these long bombs. 25, you subtract 3, that brings it down to what, 22? No pass, so it's 22, and they have no clutch points to use for anything, so that's a 56. That's off target. It's going to be wide, shot wide, and it'll be a goal kick. All right, so Manchester City will make their second change, and I think we're going to take them to 4-5-1 now, or the defensive check, so, or the defensive tactics. So right after I get done with this, we'll conclude the game. And so we're going to take out Bernardo Silva, who's a winger. We're going to bring in Ilkay Gundogan. And he's going to be basically a box-to-box midfielder. They're going to be very, very tight there in the midfield with Fernandinho, Gundogan, and Toure. And again, they're going to play a very defensive tactic at this point. It's going to be 4-5-1 against 4-3-3. You can see their ability to get shots is going to go way down. And eventually we will probably make one more change. We'll probably bring out Aguero for maybe Sterling, or I don't know, we'll see. But it's going to be a goal kick for Manchester. 73rd minute, 2-0, as you can see at the top of the screen. So the goal kick is E5. So that'll be Gundogan immediately in. 61, 30 in E, and that's going to be a defensive check. Bournemouth blocked X, retained. City will take that. Sane in X, 63, that'll be a foul committed. And it will be suffered by APBA. No card. Bournemouth with the free kick in X. Yes. D1. They have no clutch points again, so things are looking pretty dire here. King in D. 65, he's going to get fouled. So let's, maybe they can find a way to this. We'll see. 1, 2, 3. Otamendi with the foul on King. Let me cross out these numbers so I'm not factoring them in. No card, but Bournemouth will get a free kick in D. It'll be King taking it. Not a lot of shot chance from there. It'll be passed to C9. Mark Pugh and C. He could take a shot here, but it's not going to be. It's going to be a defensive check. And Manchester City is going to shuttle it right on down to Zone E, and it'll be De Bruyne with it. So on the break, De Bruyne is going to whale off a shot here, I think. Let's see. E, what is it? Maybe not. So 22 leads to 4. In Zone E, that is going to be he's going to dribble it into B1 or into B. So De Bruyne in B. That's 24. It's going to be a pass to Aguero in C. 77th minute. Getting short on time here. So that's 40 in C. That'll be a header to A. Again, 5 out of 6 they win. And they do again here. They retain it. So A1. De Bruyne in A. What's it going to be? 16. That's going to be a defensive check. The Cherries get a break. Can they make something of it? But it's going to be a block to X, and they're going to lose it, or they're going to retain it. So the City will retain it in Zone X. So they're maintaining a lot of possession here, which is kind of the reason you go to a defensive tactic, not only to be able to defend, but you're just limiting everything. 41 in X for Ndoyen. So the 41 becomes header to X. Wait, hold on. 41, go to his card. 28, that's a defensive check. But they're okay with defensive checks because, again, team defense is the lowest for Bournemouth, so they don't get straight steals very often. And so this is going to be a header to D, and again, 5 out of 6, this is going to go City's way, and it does here. D1. De Bruyne in D, 31 is a 10 in D, which is going to be another good pass, B4. Just soaking up possession. Fernandinho, 23 in B is a foul committed. Suffered by number 6. 9, 8, 7, 6. Yeah, Daniels. Suffering it. Fernandinho, no card, but Bournemouth will get a free kick. They're going to go ahead and make their final change. I think it's going to be Gosling coming in for one of the defenders. So it's going to be Dan Gosling, and he's going to come in for Francis. Choosing Francis because his shot on goal number is not good. And so that gives us a little bit better. It's better. His is worse than Daniels and Ake. So if we can get a chance for either of those guys in close, we'd like to keep them there. So we're going to bring off Francis instead. And so they're basically playing with a back 3, and again, it's going to be, it could either be Gosling or Frazier. One or the other is going to be more or less, probably Gosling, because he hasn't played the whole game. He could hoof it back and try and cover on the counterattack. In theory, I mean, in playing this game, it's not quite as, we're just kind of like talking in hypotheticals somewhat. Free kick in X. C6. So this is the 80th minute. It's 2-0. It's going to be Gosling just in the game in C. So 34. It's a 32 in C is going to be a defensive check. Block to X. Lost. X9. So that'll be Stones for Manchester City. They're looking pretty good for this. 43. That's going to be 43 in X. That'll be out of bounds. They don't care as long as they're eating away time. That's all they care about. F on the throw-in. And Pugh, who is now in that 10 role. Not number 10. Number 10 on the table, which is basically the most defensive outfield player. the least offensive, maybe that's the way to put it. 42 becomes 42 in F, which is header to X. Lost. So it's going to be Kyle Walker in X. We haven't heard much from him in the second half, but he has it now. For him, 41 is 44 next. That's going to be another out of bounds. Again, just wasting time. We're going to add 2 minutes at this point, and we'll see if there's any more. It needs to be added. Throw in F8. So it'll be Daniels and F. 46 is 30. Defensive check. 24 will be a steal to D4. Now, with clutch points, I really don't use a lot of clutch points for teams that are ahead unless it's something like a save. I feel like that doesn't really go to the fairness of the game, so I don't really do that. So it's Fernandinho and D. 56-30 and D is going to be a defensive check because you could just keep stealing the ball if you wanted to. I don't think that really goes to the spirit of the game in my mind. 52 be a block to D. Manchester City's going to retain it. And it'll be D2. So Aguero, we haven't brought him off yet. If there's another stoppage here, I might just do that. We'll add another minute of stoppage time for that. So Aguero and D. 56 is 26 in D. It'll be passed to Gundogan in E. 63 would be a foul committed. And suffered by player 5. This is where it gets a little bit tough. And this kind of, so it's going to be Gosling. We're just going to give it to him. It's in the right ballpark. Ooh, and that is a yellow card. So Bournemouth with the free kick in X. Not going to worry about. We will add the extra minute of stoppage time because there's a yellow card. I should have kept it on the other. I should have made another line for it, but that's okay. It's a free kick in X. C5. Stanislas in C. 21-41 is going to be a header to B. 86th minute. Bournemouth running out of options. Retained. They finally get one on the loose ball try. It's been a long time since they got one. B2. And there's a double, so that would have been really helpful for them. So eBay. And B, 35, 40, and B is defensive check. They lost their clutch points early on. That'll be steal to C when an 11 came up on a discipline roll, and so they had to downgrade a player to a yellow. So C3 for City. Sane, that's a 12 in C. It's 36. That's going to be a defensive check as well. It's a steal to D for Bournemouth. That'll be player 6, Gosling. Oops. 88th minute. 28 in D. Okay, it's going to be passed to F. And they're going to he's going to dribble it into F. And okay, 4 in F is going to be a shot, not what you want. But he's getting desperate. He's 32, and then you subtract 5 for that, so that makes it 23. 23, and it's 25. It's off target, and there wasn't a pass. So can they get a corner kick out of it? They do. Okay, so they do get the corner kick. King, rated B. Okay, it's going to be passed to B. Which player? 33 on that chart is 2. So it'll be eBay in Zone B. And so he is rated 26, but you get to add, actually we add 4 because 3 for the zone and 1 for King. So that's going to go up to 34. I believe the math is right on that, and it's still going to be off target. Goalkeeper outlet. So there's 3 minutes of stoppage time. E1 for City. De Bruyne in E, and guess what? He's going to take a shot. So we're going to subtract 3 to that, so it's going to be 26. That's off target. That'll be a corner kick, so this is going to eat up some time. I'm going to do a little time wasting, and they're going to make a substitute, their final sub. We're going to get, might even take De Bruyne off. Let's see. So the City fans are giving Sergio Aguero a healthy salute as he walks off the pitch, being replaced by Gabriel Jesus. At this point in the game, they'll just go ahead and put on another forward. This game is pretty much over, and they're not worried about any kind of a comeback at this point. So they're going to take another corner kick here. This will be De Bruyne. Pass to B. 5. I think we're going to have to do one. So it'll be Gundogan, and they're going to need to. We're going to need to flip the cards one more time. Do another pass through shuffle here. So 34 and B. 45. Oh, that's out of bounds. At least that gives me a chance to do. So 2-0. This game is pretty much in the book. We've got a minute, and we might take it to 4 minutes of stoppage time because we're in the second half of second minute. So we may go a little longer, but they're probably not going to get 2 goals. They could get a goal here. You never know. They're going to get a throw in. Maybe they get like a real prayer of a shot and somehow it gets by. Claudio Bravo, who I'm not sure has been challenged by a shot on goal yet. So you kind of feel bad for Bournemouth. Not a good showing from them today, but still they should be happy with a 4th place. I mean, you could have thought at the beginning of this tournament that they might have stood a chance to be in those teams at the bottom, which is kind of like relegation territory. But they finish very respectably. They seeded 9th in the knockouts, and they end up in the 3rd place game. So, you have to tip their caps. Tip your cap to them. And we do the throw in. It's basically formality at this point. F8. Charlie Daniels probably not going to get a shot off here. 24 in the 3rd minute. So 24 is going to be 30 in F. It's a defensive check. 31 will be a steal to E. 5, so that'll be Gundogan. And it's going to be 55, so that's 6 in E. It's a good pass, B3. And the referee's going to blow it here because this is going into the 4th minute. Manchester City's ahead. They have possession. No sense in spending any more time in this formality. Game is over, and 3rd place goes to Manchester City Football Club. And a very thorough showing from the blue side of Manchester. Kind of a cliche at this point, but good. Like I said, good tournament showing from Bournemouth. Manchester City, who won the league, will be somewhat disappointed with 3rd place, but their only loss was in the last 5 minutes to Liverpool. Actually, no, they did have another loss. They lost to Leicester City in the group stage, but they will not be happy with 3rd place whatsoever. But you have to. This is one of the it's one of the things with the World Cup that is always so tough to justify, because a lot of people, and myself included, times have given Lionel Messi a lot of guff for his inability to win a World Cup or take Argentina there when others have, specifically like Maradona. But when you got a 1-and-out situation in these knockouts, anything can happen. And that semifinal that we played between City and the Reds just goes to show you kind of like, I think what we do with these games is we look to show just how much, probability can be involved in things. And, you've got the NFL where there's 16 games, and granted, it's a playoff system that's, it's definitely not as generous as a lot of them. You get 12 teams in out of 32. But, a game or two can mean a heck of a lot, whether you get into the playoffs even or not. And, and it's the same kind of thing in this tournament. You have Manchester City. If a couple of those card flips go differently, they're in the final. And it's just, and it's one of the things that makes sports pretty awesome, is that everybody does have a chance. Bournemouth, you could have hit Begovic's saves, and then you go to extra time and who knows what. So, but you've got goals from David Silva in the 29th minute, fed by Kevin De Bruyne for the first goal. And then in the 54th minute, second half, Sergio Aguero picks up the second goal, doubles the lead. John Stones getting the assist on that, and that wraps it up as far as the scoring goes. 2 yellows, actually 3 yellows. 2 for Manchester City. It's Delph and Gundogan. And 1, that's Tyrone Mings for Bournemouth. But anyway, that will wrap up this video. And we are at the precipice of the conclusion of this Crazy Prem Cup. We should have a live stream at some point this weekend with Tottenham Hotspur and Liverpool for the title from Wembley. We'll see who finishes top of the Crazy Prem Cup. Thank you all for checking this out. Thank you all for your support of this channel and the channels of all the other great folks who create content here, trying to provide some sports during a time when there aren't that many to be had. So again, thanks. Hit the like if you could. Feel free to subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more from us. You'll get the notifications if you hit the little bell as well. So this is Tenacious Earl. I am the partner of Tabletop Earl here on the channel. We thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep rolling, and hope to see us a lot more here on this Memorial Day weekend. Take it easy. God bless.